Hello students, so in this video we'll see the norma occipitalis. So it's a back view of the skull. If you see the skull from behind, what you are able to see is known as norma occipitalis. So which are the bone that forms the norma occipitalis is the posterior part of the parietal bone, and below the squamous part of the occipital bone will form the norma occipitalis, and on side by side there is another bone which contributes this portion. It is a mastoid part of the temporal bone. So mastoid part of the temporal bone on either side also contributes to the norma occipitalis. Now which are the sutures that you encounter in the norma occipitalis? So the first suture that you encounter is the posterior part of the sagittal suture. So this is the posterior part of the sagittal suture. Then this is the lambdoid suture. Between this two parietal and the occipital bone is the lambdoid suture. Another suture which you are able to see is between this mastoid part of the temporal bone as well as this occipital bone. This is known as the occipitomastoid suture. So this suture is known as occipitomastoid suture, this one. And another suture between this inferior angle of the parietal bone as well as between this mastoid part, this portion, another suture is known as this is parietomastoid suture, the parietal bone and this is the mastoid bone. So parietomastoid suture. So these are the suture which you are able to see in the norma occipitalis. Now other features which you are able to see is the lambda is the meeting point of the sagittal suture as well as the lambdoid suture. The obelion, it is the point between the two parietal foramina on the sagittal suture. Behind, if you see another point in the midline, this point is known as external occipital protuberance. This one is known as the external occipital protuberance. If you see it laterally, there is an elevation over here. So it is known as the external occipital protuberance. And the highest point over this is known as the inion. And from this external occipital protuberance, on either side, a curved ridge goes laterally having a convexity facing upward. This is known as superior nuchal line. This superior nuchal line as well as the external occipital protuberance, it demarks the junction between the head part as well as the neck part. Whatever below which is there on the skull is known as the norma basalis part, and this is the norma occipitalis part. Further, sometimes above the superior nuchal line there is another faint line which is there. It is known as the highest nuchal line. So this is the highest nuchal line on either side. This is the superior nuchal line. This is the external occipital protuberance, and the highest point over here is known as the inion. The point above this inion, 1 centimeter above, there is another point known as the occipital point. It is the farthest point from this glabella. So from the glabella, the occipital point is the farthest point over the skull. Further, if you see, this is the mastoid process, and inside the mastoid process near this your occipitomastoid suture, there is another foramen. This foramen is known as mastoid foramen. Internally, this mastoid foramen opens into the sigmoid sulcus, and the emissary vein connects this with the sigmoid sinus. Sometimes there is a bone which is there known as interparietal bone. It is present near the apex, this apex part of the squamous occipital bone. It is the part of the occipital bone which has not been fused with the remaining part of this membranous part of the squamous bone, and it is known as the interparietal bone. It is different from this intersutural or the accessory bone. Now if you talk about the attachment, so this superior nuchal line, it will give attachment to the trapezius muscle over here, while the external occipital protuberance will give attachment to the ligamentum nuchae, highest part of the ligamentum nuchae. Further laterally, this portion of the superior nuchal line will give attachment to the sternocleidomastoid muscle as well as the splenius capitis muscle. Highest nuchal line, if it is present, it will give attachment to the gallia aponeurotica or the occipital belly of the occipital frontalis muscle. If it is not present, then these structures will attach to the superior nuchal line.